Good morning, everyone. This is Bob Martin with RCSub.com and the Nautilus Dry Docks. And you're probably asking yourselves, where the heck have I been? Because it's been a long time since you've seen an update on this poor Type 7 buildup. And the answer to that is I have been traveling for work overseas. It's taken me out of the shop for a few weeks at a time. I vastly apologize. Hopefully we'll be able to get back on this in earnest fairly soon. I'm out again next week, but after that I don't have any travel planned for a while, and I really want to get this done, as I'm sure you do. So let's start out with a bit of a recap of where we are at and what I've done over the course of the last few mornings. This is the hull. If you've been following, you'll notice that it is in 3 big pieces, and this is done for a few different reasons. One of which is the installation of the watertight cylinder, which is fairly large diameter, is made a lot easier by doing it from the end of this section rather than trying to jam it through the top, which stresses the hull out and scratches the cylinder every single time. So as such, created this 3-piece solution, which is actually working exceptionally well. The seam lines at the front and the back, I would estimate, are approximately a 1/64 of an inch. I think once this thing is painted up, you will not be able to see it in the slightest. Haven't done a lot of work to the hull itself. What I've been focusing on is the cylinder, but I'll show you this part here. As you may or may not recall, I have a sound system built into the model. When you power it on, you get the diesel motor startup, which is very cool, and that's all proportional with the throttle. So this sound unit is going to sit up here just underneath the top deck so that the water drains off when it surfaces, and you can hear the sound. Over here you can see the main drive cylinder, which has been finalized, and I did run into a big issue with this. And for those of you who are considering the OTW cylinder, which is stupendously awesome, by the way, it does not like LiPos. LiPos work on a different voltage per cell than like nickel metal hydride or standard alkyd batteries. So it detects a low voltage situation every time you power it up. So that kind of sucked, because I had a pair of beautifully fit LiPos in the back section that tucked in underneath, all in the dry section, and I had to kibosh that. Nickel metal hydrides are not quite as energy dense as LiPos, and so it's a little bit bigger battery. I still wanted the capacity. I want at least 5 amps of capacity for this model, and so the battery is going to be remote, and so I had to rewire everything, and you can see all of these leads coming out. This is the lead for the bow thruster power, and this is the main power lead, and you can see it snakes into the bow, and ta-da! There is our main nickel metal hydride battery pack just sitting in there right now. I need to make a tray that it can sit on. I need to waterproof the battery, but I think the solution is going to work just as well. It's just a little different is all. And the last thing, and probably the main thing before I really start finalizing things, is the torpedo system. Now, you guys have seen the solution that I had come up with previously based on my previous experience, and they were gas powered torpedoes, and we tested them in the pool. If you haven't seen it, that's kind of a fun video to watch, because those are crazy torpedoes. They blast around in circles and they launch out like missiles, and while it's very cool, it's somewhat dangerous, and I don't like it. I want something simple and reliable every single time. So what I came up with was a solution that's based off of a turnkey torpedo system out of China. And this is what they look like. This is theoretically 32nd scale, although based on my measurements, these are a little fat. But these are an electric solution, and let's take a look at what that looks like. So we've got drive bushing, We've got the main prop shaft. Here's the prop. This is probably going to need to get cut down, I think. Drive motor, reed switch. It's a magnetic switch. The 3.7 volt LiPo battery pack. We got some diodes to make sure that we get our power correct. And this is really the secret to making everything work. Now this is a flasher system actually designed for cars. And fortunately for me, they like voltage anywhere from like 2 to 12. You just need to bypass the voltage regulator that is on board. But the neat thing to this is it's completely programmable. So what you do is use these white wires, short them together during the startup phase, and that sets either a delay or a runtime for the power. And so what I'm going to do is set this up so that as soon as the magnetic switch is removed, power flows to the unit. It'll turn on for 4 seconds. 4 seconds of runtime. That's enough time for it to exit the boat. I'm going to guess it'll probably make it about 20 feet before it shuts down. So of course, if I didn't have that switch, this torpedo would just go on and on and on and on forever until you caught it and slapped a magnet against it to turn it off. So nice tiny solution with that'll fit nicely inside. My idea right now, and this is certainly subject to change, is I'm going to seal the nose cone to the body, left half to the right, so that this is a sealed tube. And then I'm going to make a seal at the back with O-rings, and that'll remove, all the guts will pull out, and that will be how I seal up the torpedo. My main stumbling block right now is sealing up this shaft, but I'm thinking I may be able to get away with greasing this bushing, and then we'll just make sure that during operation it stays at periscope depth or surfaced, so that the water pressure doesn't force water inside, which I don't think would be a big problem, except the torpedo may sink, but all of the components inside shouldn't be too adverse to getting dunked now and again. But that's the idea. That is where we are currently at. Again, I appreciate everybody's patience. We're going to get some traction on this. We're going to get this thing done. Might not be in the next week or even 2 weeks, but it's going to happen. So make sure you keep watching. Thank you for your patience. Subscribe to the channel for all of the updates, and we will see you soon.